Hi, so I'm going to talk about my concept for tabs in a future generation of Firefox. I've created a project in Xcode that runs in Leopard, and this creates a demo application that can demonstrate some of the concepts that I'm going to be showing you today. So as you can see, there no longer is the toolbar followed by tabs and followed by favorites. Now all of that has been collapsed into one area at the top of the screen. As you can see, when I opened the web browser, my favorite page came up. You could have any type of new tab springboard, but this is just what I chose to do. Now, I can open more tabs, obviously. If I open a bunch of tabs from this page, then they will all be grouped together. And you can see that as I group them, they'll all have this red highlight here. And the red highlight just means that they all came from the same place. If I were to go to a page that's inside a group and open tabs that would be in its group, now it has a subgroup, which you can see from the purple highlight. And this is the same no matter what page you open it from. They'll all have different color highlights. Now, you can do some stuff with these groups. For example, if you want to take up less space, you can collapse a group. And you can still access the tabs from there. You can close a group, and also you can create new groups if you want to deal with a different subject. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to make a bunch of different groups. Normally you wouldn't do this. You would add tabs to current groups. Now you noticed when I added so many groups that they didn't all fit on the page, you now have an automatically collapsed group here. And it will automatically collapse that group if even more tabs are added. So this solves the problem of having 20 tabs across, because it will intelligently collapse the tabs in a way that takes up far less space on the screen, and you can still access all the tabs inside them. Now, if for whatever reason you wanted to add even more, you could do two things. You can send the tabs to the side of the screen, which makes them take up less space, but if you add even more tab groups, you can get a scroll bar to scroll between all of the thumbnails. Now I'm just going to close some of these tabs here to continue the demonstration. Now this area at the top of the screen, it can also serve some other functionality. If you navigate to different pages, so that way we have a little history, it can serve as a place for thumbnails of your history. These aren't actually thumbnails, but they would be in a real release. It could also serve as a place for thumbnails of your favorites, and it can also serve as a place for highly graphical icons for functionality that takes place in a page. Finally, it can also serve as a place for types of automatic links when you type a URL. So if I were to type a URL here, I now have a bunch of buttons that you can select to go to a specified URL very quickly without having to type the whole thing. Or it could be used for different types of searches, so you could have an icon for an image search or for a map search. All these types of things can all be created in this area at the top of the screen. Finally, the tabs can also have space for additional information. So if, for example, there was an RSS update that can show up as an icon on this page, you could create an API so that way web apps like GChat, for example, could also put updates there to indicate that you've received a message. That's all I have. Thanks a lot.